Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our very first meeting of 2025, Baltimore County Human Relations Commission. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Vivio Rochelle so that she can do roll call.
Good morning, or good afternoon, everyone. Commissioner Greer, Commissioner Marshall, Commissioner Myrick,
Present.
Commissioner Thornton,
Present.
Commissioner Davis,
Present.
Commissioner Fricks,
Present.
Commissioner Lucas White,
Present.
Commissioner Shaw,
Present.
Commissioner Jackson,
Present.
Commissioner McCready.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we're going to turn it over to Chairwoman Christy Thornton to introduce, for the introduction of the HRC commissioners and a round robin from each commissioner on why you decided to become an HRC commissioner.
Welcome, everyone. It is my first time meeting many of you as I did not have the opportunity to attend the holiday event. So it is a pleasure to begin to put some names with faces, and I'm very much looking forward to working all of you as we labor together to make Baltimore County better. My name is Christy Thornton. By day, I am the president and CEO of Associated Black Charities. We are a 40-year-old racial equity organization. I have been a sitting commissioner since October, I believe, of 2024, and newly appointed chair, and excited to work with the team here. But also excited to really dig deep into the work that we're going to do. Why I became a commissioner, obviously my day job and what I do is steeped in equity and inclusion for and making sure that people have the best opportunity to be successful and to thrive. I think as I was getting involved in Baltimore County and talking to former Executive Director Savitra and learning that this commission was right at the point of releasing a new strategic plan and having goals and having protocols, I was really excited about the ability to participate in that on the front end. And so it's why I'm here. I'm very grateful to be here. And I would love for each of us to go around and make sure we get to know one another tonight. We'll pass it to you.
I was appointed back in the 90s by then County Executive Dutch Rupersberger. He had asked me, he said, I need you to do me a favor. And I said, yes, what's that? He said, I need you to serve on the Human Relations Commission. Since Dutch Rupersberger, I've been reappointed by every county executive up until Johnny O. And so was going to retire, he asked me. So here I am. And that's why I became a commissioner. Served ever since, and I've gone through a lot of different organizations and different leadership. And it's been very interesting. And I thoroughly enjoy it. That's the reason why I'm still here. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I forgot to mention that I am an at-large member, and so if you can indicate your district or where you represent, that would be helpful too.
So I'm, county executive appointed.
So my name is Sharmetta McCready or Char McCready. Daytime job is I work for ADA, I'm an lead ADA and 504 coordinator for Montgomery County. So it's the Housing Opportunity Commission of Montgomery County. So volunteer-wise, I serve in a variety of different roles, including working with the Inclusionary Housing Coalition. So in Baltimore City, where I'm on the steering committee, I was not the organizer, coordinator of that coalition. It's still very much involved in housing and fair housing specifically for 25 years. Used to work for a group called Baltimore Neighborhoods, the National Reinvestment Coalition. So fair housing has been a part of my life. And now this is what I live. So we always serve and go somewhere else. We have a lot to be here. And so I'm happy to be a part of the commission and be a commissioner. And I would like to see a better, more equitable Baltimore County, and I'm happy to be your office. I'm in David Mark's district. So we're not into politics, but we work together in a bipartisan way, which is a wonderful thing. And I've been on the state for about 7 years.
I had a question. Should I tell you about the other organizations I'm involved in?
Feel free.
Or forget that?
I'd love to know more about you.
Oh, well, I sit on the board of the Baltimore County Community College. I've been on there since the 80s. And I was previously on the board of trustees. I served 12 years on the board of trustees for CCBC. Of the foundation for CCBC at the Essex campus. I serve on the Baltimore County Licensed Beverage Association. And I've served on that since the 80s. I served on the Baltimore County Commission for Women. I served on that since the 80s. Dennis Rasmussen was county executive, and he had appointed me to that. And then I served up until, I guess, about 3 or 4 years ago. What else? Oh, I'm also on the board of my community, on the community organization that help better the community. Sure, get along and things are happening correctly with Baltimore County and the community. I live in Bullis Quarters, so what else? I'm missing some other things. But anyway, I'm very busy. Oh, I was on the restaurant, the Maryland State Restaurant Association. I was president. I had served on different offices till I got to the president, and then I served there, I don't know how many years, Association in Maryland, and we always went over to DC to lobby. And also when we, on the community college, we would go over to Washington to lobby. And we go over there, lobby the Congress and the senators, not your budget, we need the money to survive. And, I'm doing some other things when I think about it, I'll let you know.
Yeah, and I have to say this, I won't be trouble. I'll work at you.
That's it. Pick up. That's a lot. I feel like I'm very impressed. Hi, my name is Melissa Davis. I am part of District 6, the representative there. This was a natural progression for me as far as, why I became a commissioner. My day job was in human resources with a focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. I belong to the Chesapeake Human Resources Association on their board for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And then I have served as the president of the Overlay Community Association for the last 3 years. We are a very diverse community, and I think that Baltimore County could use a lot of work, I think, in that area. And I'd like to see more education come to communities like ours to focus on that as far as, fair housing and things like that. So that's kind of where my interest was.
I just remembered one other thing. I'm on the Chesapeake Gateway Chamber of Commerce, and I'm on the board there and past president there.
My name is Brent Jackson, and while I've served on several nonprofit boards, this is the first time I've ever served on a commission. So I'm a newbie in that sense. And I joined because this is a passion area for me. I spend a lot of time listening to DEI podcasts and watching education programs. I'm excited to be on the commission, eager to apply my skills. I have a background in accounting and IT, building databases, and so I'm eager to apply my skills to make a difference and learn and network and help whatever needs to be done. So, sure.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Shuni Xia. Originally I'm from China, and then I went to Germany for my PhD study, and I came here for more than 20 years already, for my postdoc study. And for my day-to-day job, right now I work at an NCI, National Cancer Institute, which is basic staff. Most of the time, till now, I'm still working from home, but very soon I'm going to go back to the office. So anyway, but before I joined NCI, I was working as a brain tumor scientist at Johns Hopkins for like almost 20 years. And then volunteer-wise, I'm representative of the Chinese American community. I'm the founder and the president of Chinese American Parents Association of Baltimore community. So we organize culture showcase like during Lunar New Year, AAPI, those kind of festival. I just want to bring the wide diversity in Baltimore County. So that's the reason why I'm here, because of diversity, and I want to bring the perspective of immigrants and also from other culture background. Yeah, that's also my first time as a commissioner.
Brain tumor scientist. So my name is Andrea Fricks, and I have been here 4 years this month. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I serve full-time at Baltimore City Community College as the Director of Adult Basic Education, GED programs, alternative high school, corrections education. And it's very, very much needed in that densely populated area. And so right now, that's where advocacy is so critical, for adult education as a whole, but specifically in an area where the state of Maryland, 400,000 adults do not have a high school diploma. And so the resources need to be made readily available for them. I also serve on the board of directors for Maryland Association of Adult Community Continuing Education, where we also advocate for adult learner resources. And I am a state advocate fellow for the Coalition on Adult Basic Education, which is nationwide. And again, another form of advocacy at the legislative level for adult ed resources. And so one of my interests was just extending my reach, being more involved in the community where I live, because I'm already involved where I work, but really understanding how to serve, where to serve, where my best talents could be utilized. And so this is already very rewarding for me, and I look forward to the next 2 years at it. Thank you.
So my name is Afria Lucas White, and by day, just like many of you guys, I'm multifaceted. I work for Howard County government as a recruitment manager, and I also am an adjunct professor at CCBC Owings Mills campus. This will be my first ever commissioner endeavor, and the reason why I was interested and intrigued about joining this commission is because diversity, equity, and inclusion fall near and dear to my heart. And I am certified in DEI, as well as just, like Ms. Fritz said, being a staple in my community, being more involved. Originally, I'm from New York. So, and I spent a good amount of time here at Bowie State University, but I've gotten growth into the community and seen myself as a staple. So I just want to see how I can do my part and enhance my capabilities and always finding ways to do more.
Oh, this is for commissioners, or we introduce?
Yes, we'd love to.
I'm Ashley Elliott. I've been with Baltimore County for almost 3 years now. I am the Title VI coordinator for the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. I also serve as, alongside videos, as an investigator.
Everybody, good evening. My name is David Skinner. I'm the new program manager for the Human Relations Commission. I've been with Baltimore County since 2016. Formerly I was Fair Housing Compliance Manager. And so work that you all do is definitely in the main see that I've been part of for years. Watched our work with Baltimore County. So I'm definitely looking forward to doing this work, especially in light of the DEI landscape we find ourselves in today. So we're here to support you and great young men.
And my name is Vivian Flortel, and I'm a compliance specialist and investigator. I've been with the county, April will be 2 years, and I'm passionate about DEI. I have been in the DEI field for about 4 to 5 years now. And so I'm just passionate about making sure that all communities and marginalized communities have a voice at the table.
Thank you all.
Let's, move on to.
So we're gonna talk about,
We recently sent out a poll to request your feedback on the, upcoming meeting dates for the commission. And these are the results. As you can see, most of them, we're kind of going back and forth between Tuesday, the second Tuesday of every month, the third Tuesday of every month. And I think the first, second, and third Wednesday, of every month, we kind of got a tie going on between those 5 days. So we wanted you guys to, kind of vote on what day works best for everyone. Tuesday and Wednesday? Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, second Tuesday or the third Tuesday, or the first Wednesday or second Wednesday or third Wednesday. So those are choices, top choices so far.
Any Wednesday works best for me.
Yeah, Wednesday, something Wednesday is fine. Yeah, okay. Wednesday?
Actually, but I could not do the third Wednesday, no.
Wednesday's fine.
Yeah, okay. So are we all in agreement for second Wednesday of the month?
Okay.
Thank you, great, thank you.
I will send, calendar invites to everyone tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We've going on. So we're going to discuss some of the upcoming events. Right now, we don't have anything, outside of the budget town halls. This, is a list of the upcoming budget town halls that we have scheduled. It kind of displays the district, the location, and then the PI representative that would be at our table. And you guys are invited to, join us.
So we have some issues.
Okay.
So one thing to consider is that, so we're under the Office of Human Resources, and we were advised last week that we not have our own table in terms of division of DEI with HRC and MWBE represented, and that we have to share the table with the Office of Human Resources. So we may even need to scale down the amount of personnel that we have coming from the division of DEI to come out and engage with community members. But we do have support from our Office of Information Technology. They have tablets for us to use so that we can engage with the constituents who are in attendance to do the surveys. What are the surveys?
It's the equity assessment survey, and the CRRC survey for the Community Reinvestment and Repair Commission. Well, we were there last week, it's just that there was only one person and they were at the table with Human Resources. So you didn't see, so you may have not seen us because we didn't have the tablecloth that said DEI in our own table, so you may have just thought it was human resources, but it was human resources with DEI, which that was a directive we got last minute, and we didn't have time to express that to the team, to you all as commissioners. We apologize.
Yeah, so as far as we understand, moving forward for the rest of the budget town hall, we'll be sharing that table with the Office of Human Resources staff. So, and you all are, please invite to come, especially if it's in the district. Love to see you out there. There's some questions that community members have about DEI, about things going on in the news.
Do we have that in our packet?
This calendar.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
I didn't understand when I heard Dr. Britt's email, so I just signed up for everything. About the state, as like there's a requirement to keep your system, but of course I would go to the one that's in my district.
Okay.
But you're welcome to.
Okay. Do you have that separate list? of
So they-
commissioners
yeah.
that signed up?
Yeah, see, like, I guess that's something I can have in the book.
You can only go to your calendar and find it.
Okay, I'll do that.
Any other questions about the town halls, upcoming budget town halls?
Well, I didn't say, but I will go on this Wednesday to the morning, paper.
Okay. So if we're meeting every second Wednesday now, get here at 6 p.m. or virtual, or have we decided?
So there'll be, some will be in person and some will be virtual. The next meeting will be in person, one after that will be virtual, so it'll be kind of back and forth in person, but it'll be here in this one.
So that'll be March 12th.
The,
Budget town hall, then.
I also think that's the one I signed up for.
Okay.
yes, so it is March 12th.
Can we adjust, because we definitely have to extend the budget call. Can we adjust that meeting date to the Tuesday of that week? Sure.
Here on Tuesday.
So tentatively, we'll plan for Tuesday of that week. Still waiting to get some feedback from some of the other commissioners who are not in attendance today. And then, so next Wednesday, let's Madam Chair, so let's move along.
I just think, we have to give the feedback, but I just think that we need to, for the sake of our schedules, to be able to settle.
Yes.
I know the longer we wait, having less availability.
I don't want to make the decision, I want to,
Yeah, so I think the survey has gone out,
Mhm.
and those who are engaged with it or are here to represent their voices tonight, just, stuff.
that.
We will just adjust the one for March.
So it'll be on March 11th.
Okay.
Okay, so we have, it's kind of small. But you guys have this, should have. Yeah, so this is a report that we get from the Baltimore County Police Department every month. It's just a reporting of all the hate violent crimes that are reported for the county. We haven't received any reports for, December as of yet. The latest reports for November. We had 9 reported for the month of November, and for the year to date, for 2024, we had about 55.
I didn't print out.
Okay, then I'll send you guys an email with the presentation, so you guys have that. And this is just, these are the crimes reported between 2022 and 2024. They were about 259, crimes, hate violent crimes reported between these 2 years, So it hasn't changed much. Any questions?
Do you have any information about, type of thing, you know, the phrases that
Yes, so in yeah, the sign for this. So in this table, and I'll send this over to you guys, they're reported by, cultural group. So we list the cultural group and then the amount of reports that we receive for that particular cultural group in that month.
we also get information about the codes and such of where these, you know, with, like if they're increasing their certain.
No, the report doesn't include that, but that is a free question, and I will follow up with them about that, because that's something I'm gonna be.
Then you don't do some mapping, you know, about where it's located, if it's like an ongoing thing, in specific areas. You might want to know and especially if there's a trend over the years. Cover 5%. So,
I'll make note of that, and then get follow with you guys at the next meeting.
who determines whether it's considered a hate crime or not? The police department, the police. Just wondering how.
Yeah, they kind of just sent us a report of, the cultural group, how many were reported that month. It's really big,
Okay.
so we can, yeah, we can ask for that information. I
Yeah,
think
I'd love
that's
to
great.
know how they determine
Yeah.
that. Do we have any data, or just in general, about like our police department in general, about like historically, have we had any issues? I don't know. But like about our police department specifically, you know, how like Animal Town has had complaints. Do we have anything like that for Baltimore? Sorry for asking.
No, that's a great
No,
question, actually.
great question.
Segue into something I'm actually prepared to kind of address. So, we have learned that Mark Bell, who also serves in the DEI Employee Council, is, DEI representative at the police department, is going to be our point of contact. So right now, we're working on establishing what the points of contact are at the police department for Baltimore, for the Maryland Commission on Civil Rights, Baltimore County Public Schools, and the Maryland Attorney General's Office. So now what's next is establishing standard operating procedures for how we want to work with them to get this information and be able to get this data and build our own database of hate bias incident reporting.
So I think also, just to answer your question, in addition to hate bias crimes that police are addressing, the answer is yes, there is obviously issues like there are with police departments across the state. In fact, the county has a police accountability task force that was developed to address some of the disproportionate policing and prosecution of specific cultural groups here in the county. And so I don't know the progress of that work yet, but obviously, in like most counties, yeah, there's a work group in the state that there's an issue and a concern that's being worked on.
So can we have someone from Baltimore County Police Department come to the commission?
That's it.
So what's going on?
We can make that.
County.
Yes. That have them do a presentation. And hate bias and stuff.
Can we share with the commission when that task force meets, because it is open to the public, well, if you're able to sit in and view. Sure. And I know you all have a seat, but you can cover it. Oh, gosh. It's nice because you can sit in and listen to the state's attorney, and there's some community groups and NAACP is represented, and other groups that are on that task force. And if you're just an observer, you can participate, you can listen in, and it kind of gives you a little bit of insight of what some of the concerns are here.
This looks like it's from 2024. Most of 2024. So my next question was if there is any trending data from prior years to show there's more violence, hate crimes in summer or winter or around political times of the year.
I think we have detailed for.
Yeah, this tracking, honestly, this tracking, we just started receiving it within the last couple of years, yeah.
This is progress.
Yeah.
But we did talk at the last year, the meeting, like you'll see the anti-LGBT
Right.
in June, as it correlates, Pride Month, and so there are some markers that we identified, before. So that can kind of, and then certainly, maybe people are less hateful when it's cold outside.
Let's see.
Well, thank you, anyway.
It's not on there at all.
So, and then also, I know that we're working on, we need to begin working on drafts to update the DEI webpage with a hate bias into reporting landing page. So that's gonna be in the works. Also, we have to make strides to include hate bias sensitive reporting in the 2025 DEI annual.
Just to add, since I'm at UNBC, if there's ever an action where we need to try to find support, I would that production, to see if there's some research or some that's been done, support any of our activities.
Absolutely.
We will, turn over to present on our strategic plan.
So you do have a copy of the strategic plan in your folder. And it's comprehensive. It covers us from 2024 through 2026 and has a number of strategies and within the strategies, specific goals. And so I was able to work with the team over the past couple of months to do some pre-work on how we would tackle this. So this is our first kind of operationalizing of this plan and looking at understanding that we can't do all of the things at once, knowing that many of us are new to the commission, and we also have a number of vacancies to still fill on the commission, including our youth seats. And so with a little bit of gap of having everyone here and not being able to do it all at once, we wanted to kind of make it bite-sized as to what our goals would be in this year and not try to tackle it all at once. But I encourage, if you haven't already, to kind of lean into the strategic goals. These are our three pillars: community outreach and advocacy, safer communities, and then authoritative policy enforcement. And so in that, today, prepared a little presentation for us to have an interactive discussion about three areas that we've identified that hopefully we can come together and work on right now for this year. Understanding that all this work is new for this commission, including our closed case reviews, which is also new to the commission. I think we've gone through one cycle of those, but this is part of the charter of the work that I'm looking for a mouse, so I don't have one. Part of our charter for the work that we have to do. And so in the pre-work that we prepared for you all to discuss tonight, we decided to focus on three areas that we thought would help move the needle on how we're showing up for Baltimore County. The first one is to form community partnerships. The second one is to establish a signature event hosted by the commission. And then the third one is to just bolster our education and awareness. At the end of last year, we talked about some of our materials and talked about whether or not we're distributing them in a way that people feel like they have access, that people in our districts know their rights and know the duties of commission and how we should show up for them if they are to file a complaint, and that we can do better in those areas. So in focusing on community partnerships, the objective would be to start to build relationships with other organizations, civic groups, faith and houses of worship in Baltimore County who are doing similar work in a grassroots way in the community as the commission is tasked to do, to look at how we can support events that they already have. And we've done a lot of that as a commission. I know the office shares a lot of things that are happening in the community for commissioners to lean in on, but how we could formally partner to support some events and activities that are already happening around civil rights, human relations, equity. And then lastly, how we can strengthen our resources by working collaboratively with those other groups and having visibility of a partnership with them. And so the steps that we want to look at today to achieve these are, the first thing is to form a subcommittee. And of our three objectives, all of them require a subcommittee. And so hopefully you will see, something today that you feel like you're uniquely either called to participate in, and you have a skill set that would adequately match these tasks. And so we want to identify, in that subcommittee, identify organizations, other advocacy groups, nonprofits, who are doing the work already, and to develop partnerships with them, learn more about what they're doing, maybe have them come and present to us, or we go out into the things they're doing to learn more about their work, to put together a database of these partners so that we can also share them as resources externally to the residents, and then to have meetings and get to know one another. The next is to formalize the partnerships so that we have some sort of understanding of how we would work together, how we would support and maybe promote their activities, how we might have the opportunity to identify any joint initiatives that we could do together, whether they're campaigns, PSAs, service projects, anything in the county, and then how we can partner on awareness events. And then lastly, we would look to host quarterly networking forums among all of our partner groups to talk about the work everyone's doing, to share best practices around the work, to dissect what's going on maybe in the world, nationally, and how that's impacting them. We can highlight them through our website and social media to highlight the work that they're doing as well, and then highlight their community efforts. So that would be like one of our strategic initiatives for this year. And we would need to put together a small subcommittee who's interested in leaning in and working on that. And I think as we talk about this, we're not necessarily looking at having 50 partners, but it would be nice to start with a good group of partners that either represent individual communities, cultures, or, you know, globally represent the interests of equity and fairness and justice and those things so that we can have formal partnerships. So I'll start there for, that's what the first thing for like discussion, insight, thoughts. Yes.
For the database part, do you already have a database tool or know where you want to keep this database?
No, but I wrote down that we have an IT and database person on the commission.
Okay, so that's question number one. And question number two is, for the website stuff, do we control the website or are we depending on the IT team to control the website?
I think we can make some updates to our page, the DEI page on the
Yes.
website, correct? Yes.
All right, so we have control over that. And,
I say control, but we can make points.
gotcha,
We can
okay.
send in updates.
All right, and I'm assuming they have SharePoint or where do they?
Yes.
So,
That's SharePoint, so we can set up a SharePoint drive
okay,
that districts can access.
okay. Would they give us admin access to that or?
Well, you'll have, the ability to write. it.
Okay, okay.
That matter of fact, I'm gonna do that for, for, planning, meeting.
Okay. Well, I thought that's a big.
And I think also, I think that committee can determine what those kind of needs are, and we take them up the chain and decide how we want to move and what we need to be successful. But I think this could help, and I don't even know if we have individual social media or if they would allow us to outside of the HR department, but I think the committee should make those recommendations of what we need to really lean in with community partnerships.
We have discussed having our own social media within the conversation. We have talked to, I think it's Maryland nonprofits, and they would actually manage our social media. So I think we're gonna have, we can come back after having a conversation with them and let you know what is said and how we can move forward with that.
I can help, except there's a partnership work.
Are you sure you want to sign up before you hear about the contract? You want to hear about everything first? Okay, well, yes, maybe also take any subcommittee assignments, volunteers, so that we'll have a list, and then we'll, each subcommittee will meet between the commission meetings to do some of the work and report back. So the second objective for us will be to, and all the slides are in your packet too, to shore up a signature event. And that committee would be establishing an annual flagship event that would be, known to be an event of the Human Relations Commission that would provide a platform for connection, education, and advocacy. So when you think of what some other commissions do around the state, like we were at a symposium that the state commission held about 2 weeks ago, where it was a series of panel discussions, something as easy as that. Or it could be something more cultural or more festive. Something that we could take ownership of, but that would also be in our capacity to plan and execute. And so, form a subcommittee, develop a theme, and it might be something that includes keynote speakers or panels or performances. That would be for the committee to decide. Secure a venue and resources. Obviously, we do have some access to venue and space that belong to the county. And we are checking, or we were, since Executive Director Savitra and I were checking on what it looked like as to whether or not we could have sponsorships. We were gonna find that out. We should be able to collect corporate sponsorships for our event, or, have people lean in to support us. And then we would have branding, promotional materials, host this event annually, and then be able to publish an impact report based on who participates. And so whatever we are building as commissioners this year would be a legacy event that, we last long beyond when we're serving. And so we're interested in the subcommittee coming up with something that's very feasible and doable, something that we can own. And most of the other commissions across the state do something, whether it's a luncheon or some sort of gathering where they're educating and sharing information.
So with my experience with another commission, with the county, they did do sponsorship for events, big events that they put on, but they didn't take the money themselves. They had one of their partnering organizations.
That's the sponsor.
Exactly.
So that's why we need those community partnerships, because those would lean into whatever our event is. And then the last thing is something the commission already does, well, more so the office of DEI here in the county is have a good amount of educational and awareness material. And so the purpose of those brochures and things that we currently have are to inform the public about their rights, give them access to reporting. So there are brochures and flyers, and then we also have things on the website to foster an understanding of human rights and empower their advocacy for themselves and others in their community. So this is really important to us to form another subcommittee. This would be the third one. And it would look at our current materials and look at refreshing them or developing new ones where there are opportunity gaps to translate materials into multiple languages. So I know I've seen one that was translated into Spanish. And we were here last year, and there was some appetite to make sure that it was extended beyond Spanish to some other translation. And then also looking at what our accessibility is to our materials, like whether it's from sight or hearing, are we texturing it with videos and with audios and other ways that people can access and receive the communication. And so one of the partnerships that I had mentioned for this was I have a partnership with the ARC here in Baltimore County, and they're very interested in the accessibility for those with developmental disabilities. And so instead of us recreating the wheel, we would lean on the community partnership to inform us about what their community, for instance, needs to make sure that the materials are accessible. In addition to the print materials, we can do webinars that teach on discrimination and rights, whether it's housing or workplace. We can also do short educational videos for social media, just informing people that we're here and what the commission does and what their rights are. Host community workshops, partner on town halls. If there are any campaigns with national observances around the year that we can attach our education and awareness campaigns to, and then gather feedback. Because it's one of those things that, like, if people don't know about it, is it really working? And so that we can adjust the strategy from there. So today, for open discussion, we're bringing forward these 3 subcommittees to kind of give us some really meaty things to work on this year, in addition to our closed case reviews that we'll be doing for the reports that are actually filed to the commission, where we're able to lean in and give guidance on our opinions on that. So the 3 committees are community partnerships, signature event, and education and awareness. So David and I will sit ex officio on all 3 of the committees to help make sure they move forward, but we'd love for you all to give feedback, to decide where you think you would best serve, and then in the packet, we have just some information on how we might measure success against this work so that we could be, performing what we should be for the strategic plan that's been issued to us. Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about this closed case review?
Okay, so we haven't done that. So that'll happen in our orientation. So for those of you who are new, we're gonna do a new commissioner orientation
Okay.
as part of this meeting, and you'll learn more about that. I'm sorry.
Is
I
there
didn't realize everybody didn't know.
like for us, aside from the meetings, right? Is there, like, I guess more, that's a good question, like, we don't have to go into detail, but like, is there obligation, like, we're supposed to put a certain amount of hours in cases? Right, that way, so, yeah, so that way we can make that implementation about, yeah, specifically the subcommittee.
Yeah. So, we'll learn, but the closed case reviews are actually part of our responsibility to the county. They are not that specific. So, I've done one cycle, then, and they were, that's like 40 minutes.
Oh. Yeah, I get to do it.
Yeah.
So I would like have DP, like it would take like hours, you know, to sit down and go for that.
Now, and this is a new process where the commission has this authority to do that review, and we're just basically advising the department on whether or not we feel like they follow the protocols and policies of the county. And at least in my experience, it has not been cumbersome. And in fact, more so, it might help inform some of this work that we need to do. Because then we're getting real life, I think, insight about what's happening with residents in our communities and our districts so that we know how to contour some of this work to make sure it's more beneficial. Any thoughts?
Well, so as you were talking, I was making some notes as the guy who likes databases. So you talked about partnerships, and there's usually a data collection aspect around partnerships. You talked about receiving data from the police department for actual incidents. You talked about this closed case reviews, and then. So my question is, of all of those data sets, which one would you say is the most important to tackle first?
Well, I think they're all independent of one another. I think the staff is monitoring the hate
Okay,
bias crimes and just informing us so that we can make sure that our discussions reflect what's happening in real time out in the county. I think that the work of forming partnerships is part of our strategic plan and what the commission should be doing. And then the data we're collecting on the closed case reviews, the staff is responsible to review and act. We're actually just acting as an advisor to them. And so it's not really, I think the data we'll collect as a commission will be the community partners.
gotcha.
Any thoughts? I mean, when I started last year, we had the strategic plan, but we didn't have any pathway forward, and I was a little frustrated, like, well, what are we gonna do? And so I felt really good to get to this point where we had some clear deliverables that we could really work on to push the needle forward.
Are we voting on our subcommittee choices today?
So, you're gonna volunteer for your subcommittees, and then Vivios will, record who's on each subcommittee, and then we'll reach out to you so that we can, perhaps someone in the subcommittee would be willing to take the lead to organize conversations and meetings, and we'll get the work done like that. So,
Just a
Yes.
question, so the first and second and the third one, the community partnership and education, they come goes together because the education goes to community partner, right? Can go together and.
they come in some ways, but the community partnerships is really looking for agencies, advocacy groups, faith, community, other nonprofit organizations who are doing the work that we can align with. And then the education piece is the development of material and resources from the commission to the community. So all of these three things will have overlap, but they're three kind of separate working groups.
I think that's a great idea. I think all of this is fantastic. Very excited about getting data because I think of getting needs assessments and such and getting everybody to a lot of this information, not just for us, but like in like really what's going on. So I think they're all brilliant ideas and community partnership, I'm sure whoever is in that committee could then also ask for commitment for us individually to also support or to provide additional connection as well. So
Start from scratch, yeah, not at all. Obviously, in the ABC, we probably a first meeting partner. And then we're gonna ask each of these subcommittees to come prepared to our commissioner meetings to report back on.
And I can see those partnerships being very critical to the success of that evening.
Yes.
We need them to show up, sponsor, support.
Provide resources and all the things. So if we could just go around and see where your heart lies and then kind of put some structure, that would be great. Unless everybody's gonna do the same one and then we'll have a.
I'll look to volunteer for signature event or jump to.
That's my first guess.
Yeah.
My first thought was a signature event.
You too, Lynn?
Kind of community partnership, but they're not going to take a meal because a meal. I don't know where to start.
Okay, so community partnership?
For me, yeah.
Okay.
Community partnership.
Community partnership.
That's, I'm being an odd one out, I'll be education and awareness. Because I do fair housing, I do equal,
Yeah.
and, you know, and books, I do all my weeks, 3 of them. We, yeah, every day, like, the requirements for public accommodation. For their housing, so there's 2 other ones that you have to have, like education. All schools,
Yes, because I educate private schools. Well, I'm away, so I'm gonna get to orientation.
Okay, okay, yeah.
We all are. All right. So, Cecilia?
Well, I was going to do community partnership, but you have a lot of.
We need a lot.
Did you know about it?
Well, yeah. You already told her.
All right. So, and then what we'll do is, if we could send a presentation out to those who miss and ask them to just consider, sign it in for, we'll assign them where we.
Yeah.
Voluntold.
Yeah, we have one person for education.
Yeah, right.
And so what we'll do is we'll get each of the subcommittees kicked off, and then we'll turn it over to the groups to kind of lead. Well, thank you all for being so willing to step up, and we have some exciting work to do, so appreciate y'all. Have a good one.
So you'll be able to tell us all to like what components are off limits. For example, you know, certain kind of company you don't want.
Oh, yeah. And when in doubt, we'll ask.
We decided to report it to the, credit.
Well, I don't know, well, for the applicant, they need to have anything for now in their district.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's really. Don't have the board.
But we can. At this time, we're gonna ask the commissioners to, just provide any report out that you may have from your districts, any upcoming events, anything going on within your specific districts.
We're creating a youth community association. So, I'm in Woodcroft and Harwood, and we're working with Councilman Marks to create, a youth community civic association. And so we are in the beginning process, I'm involved with that, involved with it. I think we have had an association. Like, over 10 years. It's one of the original, restricted covenant communities in Baltimore County. So there's over 400 to 500 houses, you know. But it is inclusive, we want to make sure we have it from homeowners, but renters. So very excited. We had our first meeting last month, and we had about 45 participants. That's really good for a community association. So like for our very first one, that's exciting. And it is, like I said, a very diverse community. If you're familiar with it, Parkville, so Joppa, Kearney, So Woodcroft used to go across 695. But if you know where Parkville, from Ohio Road, Joppa Road, Harvard Road, and then it goes right to Parkville High School. So all of that area combined together. So we're working with the planning department to March to get that started. So great. That's all I have.
Well, Councilman Marks is my councilman, but we're going to lose him.
With every district.
He's been wonderful. And he's
Everyone else safe.
great for us. Tomorrow night, the Chesapeake Gateway Chamber of Commerce is honoring employees and businesses that have done a lot for the community. And then we're also installing all the officers and the board members. So that's an exciting thing happening tomorrow night if we don't get that snow. So anyway.
Any other reports?
And the county executive, Catherine Flossmeyer, is going to be our host and our guest speaker. And she's going to install everybody. And I met Flossmeyer in 1986. She was asked to serve on the commission for women, because I was asked to serve on the commission for women. So that's how I met her. So we've been friends going all the way back there.
So he said hello.
Now, I'm gonna tell you this little trick. When I met her, she said to me, I'm going to sit down with it. Well, what's your agenda? Do you have things laid out for your community? And do you have any programs that you're getting together or anything? She said, no, I'm running as common sense. I said, you're kidding. So I went to her very first fundraiser, and on each table, she had the balloons, and holding the balloons down was a roll of pennies. So she got elected to the House of Delegates, and then elected to the Senate, and now elected to the county executive. So she's climbed the corporate ladder. I met her when she was PTA president, and I was also PTA president.
Wow. Let's start this PTA.
One thing we forgot to do, or we had it on the agenda, but we want to do it on the record, is we do need to appoint a secretary, a recording secretary for the group. And so, do we know what the duties are?
Yes, we do, actually. Okay, so the secretary shall attend all meetings and keep a record of all proceedings of the commission. In addition to all other powers and duties, the secretary shall be responsible for: one, recording and drafting minutes for all commission meetings; two, ensuring that all members are forwarded notice of commission meetings and all of the notices required by the act and/or these bylaws.
And so while we have staff that's helping to keep us connected and informed, we do need a member of the commission so that it's our voice that's being represented in the minutes of the meeting. So we need to appoint, volunteer, vote, nominate. Is there anyone here who feels like that is something you would like to do, serve in that capacity?
I have one mention. Right now with WebEx or Zoom, there's when you open the meeting, there's a AI that can just automatically pick the notes. Maybe we can, where we have an in-person meeting, we have one of them on the Zoom meeting, and then we're just to our AI reporting.
No, we can absolutely do that, but still have a person
Yeah,
to edit and put them together. So we have Melissa, who has volunteered. Okay. Round of applause. How most joyful the room has been.
Yeah. We have our names recorded.
While running unopposed.
Wow, too full.